Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz. This is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Friday, September 27th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily rundown best bet in the MLB, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Friday in Major League Baseball. First up, the Cincinnati Reds taking on the Chicago Cubs. We're going to see Jameson Taillon for Chicago, but no official starter for the Reds. Taillon's pitched well at Wrigley Field this season with a sub-3 ERA. He faces a Reds team that in the month of September, not great in terms of OPS and isolated power against righties. High strikeout rate to go with it. I think that Taillon puts together a solid outing, and I think the Cubs back him up offensively. They've been strong against righties and lefties in the month of September, more so against right-handed pitchers, but give me the Cubs in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, the Chicago White Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers. Garrett Crochet for Chicago, no official starter for Detroit. I got to mention, this is the final series, the weekend series of the regular season as we get close to postseason play. And, usually September baseball is pretty tough to handicap, especially these final games. A lot of these teams are either already clinched and locked into their position in terms of seeding or are already mathematically eliminated, so not really playing for too much. But this is a game where Detroit still has something to play for. I like them to win this game. I just don't see a ton of value. Crochet's pitched well, but the White Sox have not backed him up. They've lost a lot of his starts recently. So I do think the Tigers end up winning this game and cover the run line, but it'll be a game I stay away from. Next up, the Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Washington Nationals. Ranger Suarez and Trevor Williams are your starters. The Nationals have been miserable against right-handed pitching in the month of September, but they've been solid against lefties, a low strikeout rate to go with it. They face Suarez, who has not really been in the best form recently. The Phillies have lost 3 of his last 5 games. He gave up 2 home runs in his last start to the Mets. I think the Nationals can get to him for a few runs, and Trevor Williams has been one of the more profitable pitchers in baseball. His first start back, while his team didn't back him up, he still pitched really well. 5 innings, a 1-run ball with 7 strikeouts. I'm going to take a shot here with the Nationals, plus the 1.5 and on the money line. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the New York Yankees. Jared Jones and Carlos Rodon are your starters. The Yankees still playing for clinching first place in the American League playoffs, so clinching home field advantage throughout the AL playoffs. Still, definitely important to play for, but overall, I just don't see a ton of value in this game. I'll lean towards the Yankees on the run line. Their offense hasn't been the best in September, but the Pirates, still a team that's been rather inconsistent this month. Rodon's pitching well, especially at Yankee Stadium, a 3.09 ERA overall this season there. And he's, his last couple of starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or fewer in his last 4 games compared to Jones, who just gave up 6 earned runs and 2 home runs in his last start. So give me the Yankees in this one, laying the 1.5 runs. Next up, the Miami Marlins taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Adam Oller and Jose Barrios are your starters. Give me the Blue Jays on the run line. In this one, Barrios has pitched really well this season. We mentioned he had that 1 month where he did struggle quite a bit, giving up a lot of sharp contact, but now he's in much better form. He went 6 innings, a 1-run ball last game against the Rays. I think he can put together a similar outing in this one. Oller's not been great on the road, and I think that the Blue Jays, who have really improved against righties in September, should be able to get to him, win this game, and cover that run line. So give me the Blue Jays laying the 1.5 runs. Next up, the Houston Astros taking on the Cleveland Guardians. Ronel Blanco and Joey Cantillo are your starters. Now, both teams have clinched their divisions, but only the Guardians have something left to play for, with the Yankees trying to clinch that first place spot in the AL. So the Astros, they're pretty much stuck where they are in the seeding. I still think that I like the Guardians in this game, even beyond the fact that this is more of a meaningful game for them. I just think that Cantillo's pitched really well recently. His last 4 starts, his last 3 starts, 1 earned run or fewer in all 3 of those games. His strikeout numbers have really improved, and the Guardians went on to win all 3 of those games, albeit against some weak lineups like the White Sox and the Rays and the struggling Twins. This is a much tougher matchup here against Houston, but I still think the Guardians have the advantage there and in the bullpen. So give me Cleveland on the money line. Next up, the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Boston Red Sox. We're going to see Nick Pivetta and Taj Bradley on the mound. Now, Nick Pivetta did struggle against these Rays back on September 17th, but that was on the road. And even though Pivetta gives up a lot of home runs, believe it or not, he's actually been better at Fenway Park this season with a sub-4 ERA. So I think he has a better chance of bouncing back, because when you look at the career matchups for the current Red Sox hitters against Taj Bradley, they've got some pretty good numbers. A high strikeout rate, but a high walk rate and a high expected slugging percentage at 568. So I think that the Red Sox can get to Bradley. Still don't love this Rays lineup, so give me the Red Sox in the first 5 innings at Fenway. Next up, the Baltimore Orioles and the Minnesota Twins. Cade Povich and Pablo Lopez are your starters. Now, Lopez did struggle quite a bit in his last start, but that was on the road, and it's notable to mention that because he has been excellent at Target Field recently. You look at his last few home games, 7 innings of no earned run baseball against the Angels with 10 strikeouts, 7 2/3 of shutout ball against the Blue Jays, 7 innings of shutout ball against the Cardinals, 6 innings of 2 earned run baseball, so another quality start with 5 Ks against the Royals. He has been on a roll, 7 innings, 1 run against the Brewers. He's been on a roll at Target Field, and I think he puts together a bounce-back start. The Twins get to Povich for a few, and I like the Twins to win this game. Next up, the Dodgers and the Rockies. We got Cal Quantrill for Colorado, no official starter for LA. It wouldn't be Ron's rundown if I wasn't taking the Rockies at Coors Field with Cal Quantrill on the mound. You know, in all seriousness, this has still been, even though they've been disappointing in the last couple of games at Coors, they've been a much more competitive team at home. Quantrill's pitched pretty well at Coors Field, and he just faced this Dodgers lineup. While it wasn't a perfect outing, it was good enough for the Rockies to go on the road and beat the Dodgers by 3 runs, 6-3, the final score, just last week. So I think the Rockies are a live dog here. Give me the Rockies on the money line. It's not going to be the most popular play, but I like the Rocks in this one. Next up, the New York Mets taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas are your starters. You know, I mentioned that I thought Frankie Montas was really pitching a lot better and improving his game, but that wasn't the case last start. 7 earned runs and 3 home runs against the Diamondbacks. Makes it 5 homers in his last 2 games. Against a Mets team, it's in desperation mode. I can't back Montas in this start. I think Manaea, solid lefty option who's been really strong in the second half. Pitches well against the Brewers team. It's not been anything special against lefties in September. Give me the Mets in this one on the money line. Next up, we'll go to Los Angeles as the Angels take on the Rangers. We're going to see Jacob deGrom and Reed Detmers on the mound. deGrom, his first 2 games, he's pitched really well. 6 2/3, only 1 run, 9 strikeouts to go with it. The Rangers have no reason to push deGrom because they're not playing for anything. They just want to get deGrom some innings before the end of the regular season. And he's pitched well. I think he pitches well in this one. I think the Rangers back him up against Reed Detmers, who has struggled recently. He pitched really well in the first 2 games back at the Major League level. Now you look at the last 2, 7 1/3 combined of 16 base hit, 14 earned run, 4 home run baseball. Give me the Rangers. Next up, we see the San Diego Padres taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Martin Perez and Merrill Kelly are your starters. This should be a fun series, but with everything to play for and Merrill Kelly in great form, I got to go with the Diamondbacks in this game. Perez has been a profit machine since joining San Diego, but this is still a really tough lineup to face as a lefty this season. And in the month of September, the Diamondbacks have hit lefties very well in 2024. They limit strikeouts, and I think they're going to be able to get to Perez for a few runs. Kelly, we know he had struggled a couple of times when returning from his injuries. It's been an injury-riddled season for him, but now he's in excellent form. I think he goes 5-6 solid innings. The Diamondbacks back him up. Give me Arizona in this one on the money line and run line. Next up, we see the Oakland Athletics taking on the Seattle Mariners. J.P. Sears for Oakland, no official starter for the Mariners. Now, J.P. Sears has put together a solid campaign, but he has struggled recently, giving up 10 earned runs and a good amount of home runs, 4 of them, in his last 2 starts. And now you face a Mariners team that's actually improved quite a bit against left-handed pitching. In that most recent series with the Astros, they got to Framber Valdez, and they didn't do much against Kikuchi early on, but got to him at the end of that outing and ended up winning that game in blowout fashion. So I think the Mariners can get to Sears for a few runs early. They still have a strong pitching staff and bullpen, so give me the Mariners in this one on the money line and run line. And the final game we're to talk about for the Friday card in Major League Baseball, the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants. Miles Mikolas and Logan Roop are your starters. Now, Miles Mikolas against the current Giants hitters, not the best numbers. He's got a .487 expected slugging percentage, a pretty low strikeout rate to go with it. San Francisco, although they've been eliminated from playoff contention, they've actually been playing pretty well the last couple of weeks. We know they swept that series at Kauffman against the Royals, took the series against Arizona at Chase Field, took the series at Camden Yards against the Orioles. So they're playing pretty competitive ball, and the Cardinals are coming off a Coors Field series with no days off in between that game and this game. So I expect some sluggish bats. Roop has pitched well. I like the matchup for the Giants against Mikolas. Give me San Francisco on the money line and run line. And that's it. Those are the games for Friday in baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and put those baseball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.